Hey guys, welcome to 3 of 365 as we're reading through the Bible this year. And today was Genesis 5, 6, and 7, Matthew 3, 7 through 4 to 11, Psalms 3, 1 through 8, and Proverbs 1, 10 through 19. So I kind of want to just poke out a few of the things from today's reading. One is you got Genesis chapter 5, and it's this first long genealogy that occurs in the Old Testament, and a lot of people read genealogies and it's boring. But one of the fun things, if you start to notice the reoccurring elements, is that a genealogy means like a shift, like a page is turning in the story, like almost like in a movie where you have the time jump forward. And so when you get these genealogies, you're like, oh, something is changing, something's shifting. So you went from this Adam and Eve era, and now you're jumping forward to Noah's era. And in the story of Noah, we get this huge crescendo of everything's terrible, let's start all over, Noah's faithful, Noah's righteous, and then destruction. And so that's 5, 6, and 7 going on there. And then when we jump forward into Matthew 3, we get two fun stories. One, we left off yesterday, on John the Baptist being introduced, him being that pointer back to Jesus. And in this moment, we now have him seeing Jesus. He said, I'm not worthy of tying his shoe. And then Jesus shows up and he goes, I don't deserve to baptize you. You should baptize me. And he goes, no, you should. And then when you read the text, he gets baptized. And it's this first beautiful element of seeing the Trinity come to life, of the Father speaking down over the Son, saying, this is whom I'm well pleased. And you have the Holy Spirit descending like a dove upon Jesus. And there's this beautiful moment where all those things are lining up, and he's really revealing himself. And then immediately after the John the Baptist baptism, Jesus proceeds off into the wilderness for 40 days for this time of testing. And it's a time of testing for Jesus, really to stand his ground. And we have 40 days where he's not drinking, he's not eating, and then he gets tempted by Satan 3 times. And these 3 temptations is, turn the stones into bread so you can eat. And Jesus says, no, the man will not live by bread alone, but by every word that comes from the mouth of God. And then we have, why don't you just throw yourself down off of this and let your angel save you, because his feet are not going to be injured and you're not going to let you get hurt. And Jesus is like, you're not going to put your God to the test. And then the third one is he takes him up to a really high place looking out over the area, and he says, if you'll just bow down to me, I'll give you everything you can see. And Jesus again rejects Satan. And I think it's interesting because when I read it, I want to put those 3 temptations into 3 categories. One of food, like physical sustenance. 2, you have this idol of safety and security and things being okay. And then 3rd, this temptation to power and being greater and getting more things and have people subjugated to yourself. So I feel like those are 3 major elements that if you think, where is sin rooted in? Where's my struggle rooted? Is it in, physical needs, food, making me feel better? Is it in safety and security and I want everything to be lined out nice and perfect? Or is it in this need and this desire for more power, more attention, more awareness? So those are really interesting. And then we jump into Psalms 3, 1 through 8. And so it's just a good little psalm, more genuine, just celebration. And you have David revealing more of his heart. And so I think it's a little bit more of a darker one in Psalms. But then we close it out with our reading in Proverbs 1, 10 through 19. And so that's what I want to read for you guys again is Proverbs. And this one is 15 and 16. And the preceding verses are talking about the sinner coming to entice you. And I think it's important to remember that Proverbs is written in such a way that it's like a father imparting wisdom to his son. And he's like, sinners are going to come and they're going to try to entice you and they're going to try to pull you away and they're going to try to get you to do their things instead of walking the path. And so is he starts to close this section up in verses 15 and 16. He says, "My son, do not walk in the way with them. Keep your feet from their path. For their feet run to evil, and they hasten to shed blood." And it talks a little bit about what the sinner's doing, but it's this idea of the son to be very intentional to not go that direction. Like, be keenly aware of what others are pulling you towards and choose not to walk that path. Like, stand tall, like grow a spine and do the right thing. Don't be tempted to wander off and go into these other directions. And so my encouragement and challenge for you today is to stand up tall, to walk the path, and to do rightly. And don't let others tempt you and pull you away. So God bless, wise up, have a great day.